So I got a lot of feedback on doing a makeup tutorial, and I asked you guys what you would want to see me do. Mostly it was eyes, eyebrows, my foundation, but a big one was also contouring. And the reason I want to show you how to do this contour is because contouring is so intimidating, and it's actually very, very, very easy. So I'll show you how I go through it, and then if you have any questions, you can ask me at the end of the video. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you're doing your foundation is you want to make sure you have clean skin. I use witch hazel as a toner, and then when I'm wearing makeup, I just use Olay. Here, I can show you. I don't even know where the top to this is, but it's just Olay Complete Daily Moisturizer. I have kind of oily skin. It's not horrible. Some parts are dry, so this is really good for me to use. Okay, so I start off with my primer. Now, I use Monistat Complete Care Chafing Relief Powder Gel. I know it's a little weird to be putting chafing cream on your face, but it is absolutely amazing. It works so well, and my skin is actually, I did my night routine because I wasn't planning on shooting this video, so my skin's a little extra oily right now. So what I do is I put that all over my face. You want to let all of your products set for like a couple minutes, but usually I don't because I'm always in a hurry. How I apply my foundation is with a beauty blender. If you don't have a beauty blender, buy one. There is nothing that I have found that compares to this. I have tried knockoffs, and they just don't work the same. So I use the beauty blender, and I get it wet, squeeze out all the water. I even take a little towel and squeeze out the water. That way you get just this fluffy little sponge. The foundation that I use is It Cosmetics CC+. I've talked about it 1,000 times. I use it in light. It's absolutely amazing, and I'm doing this in my bathroom. So this is obviously not Jaclyn Hill, but you get the gist. So what I do is I just dot the face, and then I take my beauty blender, and all you do is just dab. And it's this easy, you guys. You just dab all over your face. Try not to get too super close to your eye. If you're like me, I have like kind of, not fine lines, but kind of where my eye crease is, and sometimes it sets up in there and it kind of ages you a little bit. So you definitely don't want to do that. Now I do a little dab on my eyes. I do use an eye primer, and that's a different video, but just make sure you get that all in. And I know a lot of you asked about dark circles. I actually have a lot of veins that you can see under my eyes, and then I have a couple dark spots. I will do a color correcting video. It's easy too. But we'll see how this one works before I go making 1,000 videos. Okay. So once everything is good and in, just put your beauty blender to the side, and this is your base. So the next thing you're gonna do is take your contouring, which, where is mine? On the floor. And I actually used to powder contour, and the reason I powder contour is because my skin is very oily, and sorry, I just felt like that was the only option I had. About a month ago, I did post online about people's favorite cream contour kits, and I got a lot of info back. A lot of people said Smashbox, but my whole thing was a lot of those are palettes, and I'm not a makeup artist, so I would use 1 or 2 of those creams, and they're very expensive. So what I did is I just did some reviews, and I love NYX, NYX, pronounced NYX. The Wonder Stick, I just got it in Universal because I've never done cream contour, so I said, you know what, I'd rather pay $11 for a contour stick, and then if I can't do it, just forget it. But it's actually really easy. So what you do, you just take your dark section, And what you want to do in contouring and what you are trying to achieve is you want to create depth in your face. So I have pretty solid cheekbones anyway, but what I want to do is you're just drawing lines on your face. And I know, see, I'm not used to making videos, so, and I know you see people do videos and they create designs on their face and they take the beauty blender and then they end up looking gorgeous. Well, that's easy too, but that's not reality. So what you're doing is just taking that dark and you're just creating depth. So you want your cheekbones, these two little spaces right under your neck, or right under your lips, sorry. Do 2 lines right under your jawbone, right around your forehead and right by your eyes. And then my nose is big. I mean, I know a lot of you are going to say it's not, but it is. So I contour my nose down, and I don't make it complicated. I mean, this is all I do, guys. I just draw lines all over my face, and that's it. Now, how I blend this, I do not use my beauty blender because I only have one beauty blender. The goal is to get another one so that I can use that to blend this in, but I actually just use a Morphe brush. If you don't know Morphe, I don't know, you're missing out because they're cheap and they're amazing. So this is the Morphe M439. And all you do is kind of like what you did with your beauty blender. You're just dabbing. Now, don't swipe because that's going to end up moving your makeup too much, because remember, your foundation is still wet. We haven't set anything. And this is a cream. So all you're doing is pushing. Now, you can determine how deep you want this. I mean, if you want to cut all the way down to your lips, that's going to make your cheekbones look a lot more defined. I take mine to about here. It doesn't really have to be anything complicated, but all you're doing is dabbing. And sometimes it might take a second, but it's this easy. And make sure, I think the biggest thing is make sure you don't go too high up on the cheekbone, and make sure you don't go too low. As long as you're dabbing, you really probably won't mess this up. Just kind of push it into that hairline, because what you want to do is push kind of back. You don't want to blend into the face because you're just creating depth. You don't want to look like you just stepped out of the tanning bed. Sorry for people who tan, but it's bad for you. Okay. And you can already see not blended and blended. It's so easy. I should have timed it actually for you, but you just keep pushing that. Here I do just kind of blend down. I don't really worry too much about underneath. And like if my face is really sculpted already. Probably good genes, but sorry. So I don't really have to pull my contour too far down. I don't have to make mine really deep because I already have so much definition. So you can make this as dark or as light as you want. As long as you blend, you're going to be fine. When in doubt, blend it out. That's what I say. Because you can't go wrong. As long as you blend, you'll be fine. So if you want a better contour effect, put more on there. Pull it down more towards your lips. You know, you can even pull it down a little bit more around in here so that it kind of thins your forehead out for you. I mean, you're basically reshaping your face. That's what you're doing. And then I basically do the same thing with my nose. I just blend it out. And you'll see a lot of nose contouring videos online, and it gets very complicated, and you're using 10 different brushes and 5 different colors, but I just don't, because I live in the real world and I don't have time. So you can tell, I mean, like I said, my lighting's not great, but I mean, you can tell the definition that's already starting to pull out. I actually, after I got such a great response, I pulled up the best lighting for makeup videos, and it's actually insane. I mean, they have a ring light and soft lights behind them, and it's like a whole studio thing. So maybe if this takes off, I'll put an investment in, but not right now. Okay, so we're all blended. So we've done our contour part. So now what we want to do is do our highlight. Now, the Wonder Stick, if you do purchase that, they do have a highlight in here. I don't cream highlight. I'm just not super comfortable with cream highlighting, and I don't want to make this super complicated. If you watch contouring videos, you will see they'll do a concealer, and then they'll do a highlight, and then you just keep adding all these products. And I have a powder highlight that, let me find it, Mary Luminizer, that I use at the very end of my makeup process. I just do it on the cheekbones, on the bridge of my nose, and on my T-zone, just so that I get a little bit of that highlight. But I don't like to use this because I don't want that wet look on my face. So I just use my concealer as my highlight. So this is Makeup Forever Full Coverage. This will cover up anything. I use a number 3, which is, I think, is the third lightest. I use this, but I also use Bye Bye Under Eye. If you read my blog, you've probably seen me review that. It's amazing, but I've had this for a while, so I really need to get rid of it before it goes bad on me. So all I do, and all my makeup freaks out there will probably tell me this is wrong, but I just do it on my face like that. Super easy. And I take my beauty blender. Oh, I have a fake eyelash on it. It's still damp, but I use the pointed part, and all I do is dab. You're blending. If you just remember blend, don't swipe, blend. Don't swipe, dab. Don't swipe, dab. Just dab. And eventually, well, look, I'm swiping. I just told you not to swipe, and I'm swiping. Like I said, I apologize for my lighting. You all have ever seen people in photos that have like that white under their eyes? That's probably because they took this and went, what you want to do with concealer, I'm not even going to call this a highlight. With a concealer, you want to make like an upside down triangle. This is the bottom of your triangle, and these are your sides. Because you don't want that reverse raccoon eye. You want it to be very blended down. And remember, when you're contouring a face, you want dark, light, dark, light. I mean, you want those variations in colors. So you need to really make sure that you're basically either putting a contour, a dark, and then a highlighter, which I use my concealer, all over your face. So you basically have like 2 layers of makeup on. But it really doesn't feel heavy. And like I said, you can, and then you see what I'm doing? I'm just basically taking that concealer and putting it everywhere that the contour's not. And then sometimes I do have to take the bottom of my beauty blender just to, I think when I move backwards, the lighting gets better because I can see now where my contour is. Like I said, it'll get better, guys. Okay, so we're dabbing, and look, I'm swiping on you. Sometimes it gets frustrating. It's a lot easier with the beauty blender to blend just because you're putting that water in it and you're wringing it out, but it's a beauty blender. That's what it's made to do. And I know another girl asked me, how do you put on your foundation? This is how I do it. I mean, this is my routine unless I'm running out the door. I use a beauty blender, a wet beauty blender, well, damp. This is how I get my airbrushed, I guess as people would say, look, is my beauty blender. It's amazing, and I'm telling you, there's nothing out there like it. I've tried 1,000 different sponges, and it's just, they're not all created equal. So just suck it up, pay 20 bucks for it, and then just keep it clean. I clean all my brushes with Dawn. You can tell my daughter, so you can see my daughter got a hold of this. See, yeah. But it's 20 bucks. So I think it's recommended like change it every 3 months, but I probably change mine every 6 to 9 months. Whatever. So, okay, there's my highlight, there's my contour. So So what do we do? We did the Monistat Chafing Gel as our primer. CC Plus is our foundation all over using the Beauty Blender. Wonder Stick for the contour. Just draw your little lines. Take your Morphe M439. Dab all your contour in. And then my Makeup Forever Full Coverage in 03 for my highlight. Now, I don't want to go into my whole makeup routine right now just because I don't know how good at these videos I'm going to be, and it kind of takes me, which is ridiculous because I'm a mom of an 18-month-old, but it takes me about 30 to 45 minutes to put my whole face on. So I think what I want to do for you guys is just show you the individual parts that you've asked for, and then maybe if I get better or people continue to watch them, I can do my whole entire face. But I'm probably rambling because I've never made a video before, so I just don't want to get into the whole face because we'll be here forever. So this is my foundation and my contour, though. I know I should have probably taken a before and after, but I wish my lighting was a little better, but this is my base. I will tell you what I do after this is I take a Real Techniques. If you haven't found these either, they're amazing and they're very affordable. I get mine at Kohl's. And Real Techniques makes a sponge. I probably have it somewhere. And it's orange. It has a flat side and a pointed side. So like this side would be cut and it'd be flat. It's not bad, but blending, I just think you need the round. That's just my opinion. So, but once this is all on, you have to set. Now, some people bake. I don't know if anybody's heard about that, but you basically take a translucent powder and you put it all over your face and you let it sit. I don't do that because I think it ages you a little bit. I mean, I'm not a professional makeup artist, so maybe I'm not doing it right, but if you get too matted, if you do too much matte, it can age you. So I just don't do that. So what I do is I take Nars translucent. It's the pressed. As you can see, I use it like all the time. With my powder brush, and I just dab it all over. And you can swipe with this. You can swipe. Just the biggest thing is don't swipe with a contour. I know I'm like totally contradicting myself, but I do like to. And I kind of, you really shouldn't touch your face that much, but I kind of try to touch, because that contour, you have to think, you have foundation on and then you have your contour, and that contour is kind of heavy, so it's going to take a minute for it to set up. And remember, this is translucent. I also use Bill Nye Neutral Set. This is, I think it's like Broadway makeup, but it actually works really good. So you can use that too, but that's a loose, this is a press, so this is a little easier to control. And then I just set everything. Now, usually here I will kind of wait a minute because after this, I usually do my brows and my eyes, and I usually do blush and highlighter last, just because I really want my base to be good and set. I don't want that blush to be dragged all over my face or to get caught. So usually I wait until the end to do that. So right now I would do brows and my eyes. And then I would do the rest of my face. But like I said, it takes me like 30 to 45 minutes to do my whole face. So I don't want to do the full video right now, but this is how I contour. I'll list all of the products that I use below. And please give me your feedback, and thank you so much for watching. Bye.